Much less about oneself.
We are on Facebook.
Live streaming.
Yay!
Woo, we did it.
Ah,
Success.
we made it, yes.
On the first try.
Yep. Sorry about last week, everybody. It was one of those things where it wouldn't work. We couldn't figure it out. Came up with the backup plan of recording it and putting it onto YouTube and Facebook after the fact, which was not nearly as fun for any of us. We all determined because we didn't have that interaction from the live audience. And of course, afterward, we tested it again and it worked perfectly. So, hey, but here we are. It's a new week and I am here filling in for Julie because she's running around with taking care of business with our events. We have more and more in-store events happening and offsite events. So she's out there in the big world slinging books, but we are here in the virtual space also slinging books. Very excited to hear what Andrea, Gabe, and Amanda have to talk about today. Wait, was Gabe first? Gabe was.
Yes.
Or I think I let you in simultaneously.
Okay.
Flip a coin. I don't.
Who wants to go first?
Either way, I can be first.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, go
you
ahead,
want to go
Gabe.
first? You go first.
I mean, I can go second too. I just don't want to imprint myself too much in everybody's minds here and then.
Oh, it's too late for that.
All right, I have a really rocking book to start things off with. The Host Disabled. Can you share me, girl? But I am talking about the life of Brian. Who's Brian, you ask? There's a lot of Brians out there. Talking about this Brian Johnson. So AC/DC had one of the best frontmen of all time, Glaswegian, Bon Scott, rocked the world. AC/DC was a rocking band. And then as things happened in rock and roll, there was no more Bon Scott. And they bring in this guy, Brian Johnson. What a name, Brian Johnson, Joe Smith. So the band brought in Brian Johnson and they recorded their big book, Back in Black. And I remember I was in college, and I listened to the Mighty Met, for those of you still in LA or around LA, the Mighty Met and KLOS, and that was the AC/DC station. So I remember hearing this album like over and over and over again, and it turned into one of the most. I think they claim it's the biggest selling hard rock album of all time. It's still very listenable too. It doesn't sound quite as hard rocky as it used to, maybe, but it's still good. It's still a good listen. So this is all about Brian Johnson coming really kind of out of nowhere. Born to a steelworker, World War II veteran father. He was one of those tough upbringings in time in England, a real working class community, working class world, and him sort of stumbling into this great gig with AC/DC. Fun stories to tell. I haven't read a thing because they had this thing kind of under lock and key, but I can't wait to crack open my copy. It goes on sale tomorrow. And I think it's pretty exciting. We were announcing it earlier. We pushed it back a little bit to work on it a little more, make it a little tighter. But fun book for Christmas, fun book for your dad, for your mom. Still out there. You still hear them on the radio once in a while.
Oh yeah.
That book is gonna fly out the door of bookstores for the holidays.
I think so.
Yeah.
AC/DC is continues to be some of the best karaoke one can do, I think.
Air guitaring, you shook me all night long, Hell's Bells.
TNT, all of them.
TNT, I'm done.
Oh man, Hell's Bells. I miss those days of the Padres. When when Trevor Hoffman would come running out into the fields with Hell's Bells playing. You knew it was over then. Those were the days. Okay, let's not talk about the Padres. Andrea's turn.
Thank you. my first book is Swan's War. This is a work of fiction by a great historian, Michael Oren. He's won, well, he's won a lot of history writing awards, but also is the New York Times bestseller for 3 notable works of history. But this is, not surprisingly historical. It's historical fiction. But who better to write historical fiction than a historian? So this is set during World War II, and it's a compelling premise that's extremely well executed here. With her husband, sorry, that's my business partner's young son watching Paw Patrol in the other room. If you hear little yelps. So anyway, sorry. Anyway, with her husband away during World War II, the wife of a small New England town's police captain. Sorry, I can't speak. The wife of a small New England town's police captain basically assumes his role while he's away at the war, which proves exceptionally challenging, basically, as an Italian POW is found dead in a camp along the East Coast. As you know, as some of you may know, there were camps with prisoners of war on our soil, but not very many on the Eastern Seaboard. Beyond, of course, the internment camps for Japanese Americans during that period. But this is just extremely exciting, I think, exciting crime writing. It is out tomorrow, but it's in stores now, and it's $26.95. And I really do like that cover. It's a good cover.
Cool cover.
Yep.
Interesting. I see there are comps with Where the Crawdads Sing.
I don't, that's just wrong. This is for people that are interested in the things we cannot see, that sort of feel to it.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. And I just think this is a great read for anybody who's into historical fiction, especially around World War II, obviously. That's from Dzanc Books, Little Dzanc Books. They do a lot of great literary works, and are very well received by indie booksellers.
So is that a literary novel that can bring in another reader who reads some of the other World War II stuff that comes out?
Yes. Did I not make that clear? I'm sorry. I'm a little bit dazed.
I may have looked away from the screen for a second.
Well, I'm just a little dazed. It was a long weekend. Helping
A
out.
long weekend of Paw Patrol.
Well, no. It was a memorial open house for one of our friends this weekend. So
well, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, of course,
You're all awesome.
Our friend Sharon would want me to be here talking about books. She was lovely.
Thank you. Okay, Amanda, your turn.
Alrighty, I have been dying to share this book, and now it's finally here.
Love when that happens. Oh my God, you're so transparent.
Who is this handsome fellow? I'm not up on.
This is Sam Hewen. For those of you who don't know, Jamie Fraser from Outlander. Oh yes, a very proud Scotsman. So Sam, we did the Clanland Almanac and the Clanlands that he did with Graham McTavish, his co-star from Outlander. I'm also a huge fan of his show Men in Kilts, which is on Starz, where him and Graham travel around Scotland, sharing the culture, the food, the history with you. fabulous. So in this book, he actually makes a trek across Scotland. And he hikes through Scotland, and he writes about his journey, and of course, including bits of facts, history, and just life about the Scottish people in general. And you really can tell that he has really got a passion for the Scottish culture. And he just really brings all of that into this story. And so this is his journey. So I'm super excited. I am an Outlander fan, I'm not gonna lie, love it. But it's just really wonderful to see, out tomorrow. So Waypoints by Sam Heughan. Yay.
Look at
That's
that
the way I
logo.
like to trek and hike, with a tumbler of scotch in my left hand,
Yeah.
my walking stick on the right.
Yeah, it's like, I'm just gonna go out and write in my journal with a low ball of scotch.
Right? I mean, he knows how to
Everybody.
do it right. Knows how to do it right.
Yeah, he's pretty butch, all right. We like it.
I like it.
I can't help it. As soon as you said men in kilts, I thought men in tights. So if I look like I wasn't paying attention, it's because I had that like cycling through
They're men in tights. Love
Robin
it
Hood.
too.
my head. Okay, back to Gabe.
Back to moi. So I am going to talk about this little gem on our list. Listen to Your Vegetables by Sarah Grunberg. So Sarah Grunberg has a few restaurants here and there. She's gotten stuff like Michelin stars, James Beard Award winner. She's in Chicago, which is a real good eating town. I will say that. Always good food in Chi-Town. And Sarah brings us 180 Italian-inspired vegetables. We should have probably popped Italian a little more, but I don't think it really matters. I think if you like vegetables, this is a great cookbook for you. A couple years ago, we did Jose Andres did a cookbook for us, and it's about vegetables. It's such a simple title that it doesn't come to me right now, of course, but we sold a ton, and we cook out of it all the time because there are some really delicious recipes, easy to make, and they look like the picture when you're done with them. And they're delicious. So I recommend Jose's book to everybody still, but this is the same kind of book, I think. This is the kind of book that you will have some entrees. There's also some meat recipes and fruit and vegetables as a side dish. But it is really all about seasonal vegetables. We've started going to a farmer's market and trying to stay as seasonal as we can. It's hard when you see something out of season and it's delicious, but I think the farmer's markets around here, where it's up here in North County, and it's kind of cool to shop locally and you get what's in season, and that's what you got, and this is the time of parsnips and turnips and taters, and there's recipes here for that are really, really tasty. So spring and summer, of course, always a lot more variety, but I think a real little gem. Very, again, vegetable focused meals, some meat, primarily vegetables. 180 recipes, a lot of recipes, and I think somebody who's this renowned in the food world, James Beard and Michelin, don't just they're just not handed out. You really got to work hard and do something different and do something well. So I think it speaks well to Sarah's book. I think it looks great, and
Yes.
cook away.
Sounds incredible. Yeah, it sounds
Yes.
incredible. I'm just looking at some of the recipes. Shaved mushroom and celery salad with truffle vinaigrette. Wow.
Wow.
Grilled Japanese sweet potatoes with honey butter and pimento. Huh.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, man.
into it. Okay, off she
Alright.
goes.
This is a nice nonfiction gift book for the forthcoming season. Bravehearted, the Women of the American West. So these are untold stories of women living and helping to develop the West. And this comes from a a group of diverse women. So it doesn't just talk about white settler women. There's Mexican women, Mexican American women. So people from south of the border, and then people who migrated here, Native American women as well, and Black women. So it's nice to see that differing viewpoints that are featured here, because a lot of times, you know, like women's stories in the West aren't really told much anyway, but then of course you're not going to get like women of color really represented in history books. So it's nice to see the record being updated here. This is a huge book, 400 pages. It's a $32 hardcover from Spiegel and Grau. And there's a lot of images. So that's nice to see. I mean, it's pretty great. So that's exciting to see all the images there as well. And this also is written with original sources. So the author, Katie Hickman, did some amazing research and uses letters, diaries, and that sort of thing from these women that were out, you know, kicking asterisk, and taking names in the wild, wild West. So I just think this is a great history book that you can give anybody, any of the history buffs on your holiday shopping list. And I think it's going to get extremely widely reviewed because of the interesting take and the approach to the subject matter. So pretty exciting. Brave-hearted.
I was just going to say it. The woman on the front there looks badass. Like
Really
I would not mess with her.
No, I know. I mean, you know, just any sort like people living during that period, like, man, that was some hard scrabble living. Okay. So hats off.
Yep. Yeah, we have a bad day if our latte comes cold.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, what? No almond milk today?
Don't start me.
Have the dairy, man. Can't have the dairy.
Okay, Amanda.
All right, here you go. Okay. So next up for me, also out tomorrow, is The Revolutionary Sam Adams by Stacy Schiff. She is a Pulitzer Prize winner, and this is her newest biography. Previously, she did Witches and Cleopatra, and so now we're going to get Sam Adams from her. She's featured on the new, or on one of the PBS Ben Franklin documentary. So she's, you know, one of the speakers on there. Ron Chernow said, a glorious book that is entertaining as it is vitally important. So here we're going to learn everything and anything about Samuel Adams. No, he's not just a beer. He's a real person. And so, yeah, she's going to bring this to light. I'm super excited for this one. Love the history. And it's nice to see a new character. So there you go. The Revolutionary Sam Adams by Stacy Schiff.
So interesting that she goes from Cleopatra to Samuel Adams.
I mean, there you go. It's good.
Broad range.
Yes, but she's a wonderful, wonderful researcher. So it's going to be full of wonderful information about him. So yay.
Cool. Okay, well, we're moving very briskly along. We can do a lightning round, but it doesn't necessarily have to be lightning fast.
Prep for a lightning round, man. Prep for a lightning round. That's what you're gonna
All
get.
right. Woo! How cute.
So this is the latest in our fruit and vegetable series that we've done so well with at Harper. We've seen the bad seed. We've seen the cool bean. We've seen, what else have we seen? The good egg, the couch potato, and now the sour grape. And the sour grape is, and so all these books have a little bit of a lesson involved in them. And this one is about the sour grape who holds a grudge over everything. You borrowed a scarf, you're dead to me. Never forget about it. Didn't return a book, you're dead to me. I don't want to hear it. You just let me down, and carries his grudge. And then one day, one of the sour grape's friends turns out has a grudge against sour grape and won't explain it. And it's driving sour grape crazy, and helps the grape come to terms with their feelings and thinking of others and being more considerate and not making yourself angry, taking stuff, making life harder on yourself for no reason. So it's a really cute book. It's a really cute series. As I said, I think this is like whatever the eighth character in the series. They're very cute, very clever. The art is a lot of fun, and I recommend it. This is coming out next week. I jumped the gun. I stuck it in there a little soon. I thought it was this week, but it is not. It doesn't come out until the 1st.
All right.
Pete Oswald's art is so distinctive.
Yeah.
There's no mistaking it.
No,
Yeah.
and the series got very identifiable. Yeah, we got a number of things. When we got HMH over, there were a few things on their list as well that I hadn't seen, which are really, really cute. Mingo the Flamingo, I'd never really seen.
And there's another one called The Bad Seed.
The Bad Seed, The Good Egg, The Couch Potato.
Okay.
Was it The Bad Seed, the first one?
The Bad, no, the first one was,
The Good Egg or Bad Seed?
and I think it might have been The Bad Seed.
I think it was The Bad Seed. And there's a plush now too for The Bad Seed.
Okay, well, they're going to town on that. They're
Oh,
working
they're
it.
super cute. I'm a huge fan of book plushies, so I
Yeah.
love a good book plushie.
No, I like having the book plush. We have an elephant and Piggy. We got a Russell the sheep.
I still have my Where the
Yes.
Wild Things Are. My
Elephant.
Goodnight Moon Bunny.
Dinosaur Bob.
I do have a dinosaur Bob, don't I?
Wow.
Beth is
old
wondering-
school.
Beth is wondering, are the books linked? Like, do the characters from the food books interact with each other? Like, is the Bad Seed mad at the sour grape?
We haven't had the teaming up. That's a good idea, though. Guess who's going to drop
Yes.
that at the next sales conference and be a hero?
Yeah. Yeah, that's good for like a finale, they all interact.
And then
Right.
there will be a prequel, like Game of Thrones style.
And the origin
Um,
stories and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Very cute.
Off Andrea
so,
goes.
For my lightning round, I'm going to do a
So cute.
it's title 2. Yep. So I'll be on his way. This is from Red Comet Press, one of our European publishers, exclusively devoted to children's books, and they just really have something going on here. Really great. This one is a highlight of the fall list, and has the feel of a classic to all involved. Anybody who's seen this book. Oh no, something going on with my
Oh.
Yeah, well, basically the king sends Albie on a quest, and he has to take, here's Albie here, little guy with his
Oh,
his
they're so
little-
cute.
yeah, very cute. And he takes a long journey, as I said, at the behest of the king, and he has to go to a castle of a neighboring kingdom. And Albie, who's very nice, he's distracted by all of the people, all of the animals that he meets along the way, and he helps everybody, which is really great. And it's just so cute. And then along the bottom of each page, you see the parallel wordless narrative of the king, what the king is doing back at the castle, waiting for Albie, who's been delayed because he's been helping all of the king's subjects. And this really, I think has a lot of potential. And as like I said, I mean, it's going to become a modern day classic. I just have this feeling about this book. And it's just, and then he gets back to the castle and sits down with the king by the fire to have a long talk about everything. And gosh darn it, this book is cute. It's $17.99 hardcover, paper over boards. And I do think along my fellow reps that have been out talking to other independent booksellers out in the wide world feel that this really does reward second and third multiple readings. So this is one of those great books that that you can buy and read to the child in your life over and over. And I think this is going to sell well over the holidays.
It looks more substantial than just the 36 pages. How cute.
Yeah, it's adorable.
Yeah,
Adorable.
totally.
A picaresque.
Yeah.
Beth pointed out, interesting that Albie is written in first person. Seems unusual for a children's book.
Yeah, I guess so, but not for this age group. Let me see. It might be a little bit old. No, it's for yeah, it's ages 4 to 8. Yeah, in some ways. But that could be like the European sensibility. But I really you know, I don't think it's gonna stop anybody from enjoying it, or you know.
Oh no, not at all.
Yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, good old
Amanda?
Albie. Love them.
Here we
One
go.
more kids book. One more kids book.
I don't have a kids book today.
Wait,
I
what?
was surprised.
I was like, what the heck, man? Today, y'all do children's book as your lightning.
How funny.
I don't have a children's book. And I am I know you guys have a kids book for me always at the end, but I didn't have one today or for tomorrow. I guess we're taking a little hiatus on our kids books tomorrow. So I brought you a cookbook. So this is the Milk Street Cook What You Have by Christopher Kimball. I know I've presented Milk Street cookbooks before because I love them. I love Christopher Kimball. I've been a fan of his since he was at America's Test Kitchen. I love my America's Test Kitchen cookbooks. So now I love my Milk Street cookbooks because I do not like to cook. I'm just gonna say it. I don't like it. So these books are foolproof. They're easy to follow recipes. I never struggle with like, well, what exactly does that mean? Because sometimes like, oh, you got to do this. And I'm like, but really, what is that? And then Cook What You Have. I know we all do this. We get to a point where it's like, yeah, you got to go grocery shop, but you still kind of have food at home. You're like, well, what can I whip together? And then, you have the weird combo of like fried rice and macaroni and cheese one day, because that's what you happen to have left. This cookbook will help you. So it's not like that. Here you go. Cook What You Have. So just how to basically make almost anything out of just whatever you have lying around your kitchen. And there you go. So the Milk Street, Christopher Kimball, out tomorrow. Can't believe I don't have a kids book for you guys today. I feel like I have failed.
Well,
That's
that's
why we
a
picked up the slack. Both
that's
of
a
us did one.
very good cookbook, though.
That's a good idea for a cookbook.
Right?
Beth wants to clarify. She didn't think the first person will keep anyone from enjoying it, Albie, either. It often makes the story more intimate. It is darling. It is totally darling.
But very cute.
I was getting ready to talk about books because I was afraid no one was going to show, but I shouldn't have been afraid because y'all are so loyal. But I'll just mention a couple of interesting books. This is coming out from Catapult tomorrow. It's a memoir.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the author finds out that she is descended from a group of German-speaking Mennonites who traveled from Russia into Asia in the late 19th century, where their charismatic leader predicted Christ would return. So this is a mixture of a travelogue and memoir and history, and it's pretty incredible. The White Mosque by Sophia Samatar. And then you may have seen on the front of the New York Times book review, Alan Moore of comic fame has a new short story collection out called Illuminations. And then Siddhartha Mukherjee, author of the Pulitzer Prize winning Emperor of All Maladies, has a new book out tomorrow as well called The Song of the Cell. I know Kim at the store is a huge fan, and Kim has very excellent taste. So just mention those. We have a bunch of events too. What was that?
Well, how's that Alan Moore story collection?
I actually haven't dug into it yet. The New York Times, which I'm going to put that into the comments here. It was a really interesting review they had from Junot Diaz. And I guess one of the stories in the book is a novella. And it's sort of about the history of the comic book industry. And it sounds like Junot Diaz was, he had some reservations about some of the stories, but ultimately was like, hey, it's Alan Moore. You can't really, it's like, it's brilliant. So
Yeah.
I'm definitely looking forward to getting into it. And the art in the review that the New York Times did, it is wild. So take a look at that if you're interested.
Okay. Hey,
And then
before you get into your events, I did want to respond to Beth and just say, as usual, another discerning comment from Beth about the intimacy of first person in a children's narrative. So thanks, Beth.
yeah, it's neat that sometimes with kids stories, you're sort of left to fill in the interiority and what's going on in the main character's mind. But I think it's neat that you're kind of along on the ride with them in Albie, it looks like. Yeah, we have a bunch of events coming up this week that are in the store. We have Susan Meisner, Christina McMorris, and Ariel Lawhun. They all wrote a book together called When We Have Had Wings, and that's actually tonight. And then tomorrow we have T. Greenwood. She's talking about her new book, Such a Pretty Girl. And on Thursday, we have local USD professor Orly Lobel, who's talking about her book called The Equality Machine. The subtitle on that one is Harnessing Digital Technology for a Brighter, More Inclusive Future. So that should be pretty fascinating as well. And other huge events coming up. A lot of people are still signing up for our Barbara Kingsolver event. That's on November 2nd, and that's a free virtual event. So please check that out if you want to join us on the interwebs. We love having you either in person or here. So thank you all for coming today, reps and our tea time people out there, and looking forward to next week. You'll get an email tomorrow with today's picks, and I think I'll try to get last week's picks in there as well from our
Costumes next week. I'll wear my pumpkin.
Oh yeah, it's actually Halloween next week.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna bust out my pumpkin costume for y'all.
Here, I'll bring my raven. Yeah,
Nice.
at the very least. We'll see you all next week.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.